how is it that you think doing a short comic is helpful when what you ultimately want to do is a full-length graphic novel?
Yeah, I think the truth is, if you look back into most artists' careers, this work is all there. Like any artist you love who has that big book that you're like, I just love this book. It didn't come out of nowhere. It came up from all these smaller steps. They may be on somebody's old Tumblr or like Live Journal from 2004, but somewhere out there, maybe in a shoebox, there are the smaller
Mhm.
stories that led them to being able to do the big one. And graphic novel is such like a buzz term that encompasses so many things, but the idea of a novel is so ambitious. It's like saying I'm going to run a marathon when you've never like jogged around the block. It's like
Mhm.
you got to jog around the block to learn your pacing and what shoes work for you and how to
Mhm.
breathe and all
Mhm.
these things. And a 6-page comic,
Mhm.
a 4-page comic, that's like the little poem where you find your voice. And like once you build those things, it becomes so much easier to level up to the 12-page or like the 32-page issue of something, or someday like that big graphic novel. I think just like smaller form comics, they're just so crucial. And the
Yeah.
quicker you learn to understand that has to be part of your journey, the more fun you'll have and the happier you'll be, because you won't be like chasing this giant thing. You'll be going on this smaller journey, and it'll just be so much more enjoyable.
When I first started trying to make graphic novels, I failed. I would get a couple pages in. I was so excited about seeing the story come to life that I never wrote a full script, never wrote a full outline, would just dive in. And very quickly, with sequential storytelling, you can get lost without a map. So I had several failed graphic novel experiments and realized it was hurting my confidence in myself, that maybe this is a dream I have, but I don't actually have the work ethic to execute. That was not true. I just was trying to go from 0 to 100. So I turned my graphic novel idea into a weekly, just 4-panel comic strip. And I did those for a while. And then I moved on to longer comics, so doing like 5 to 8 pages. Then I did a 12-page comic. Then I did 30 pages that would become a chapter of a book. And it's not fun to start small, but you have to start small to prove to yourself that you can do the long work. Because if you find yourself in the cycle of, I can't do 300 pages, of course you can't. No one's first project is 300 pages. They finish things to build momentum and the confidence that they can take on the bigger projects. And also, again, this isn't fun to hear at the beginning, but you don't want to make your mistakes on the 300-page books. You want to make your mistakes and be like, I actually don't really know how to put my word bubbles in a way that moves with how the human eye moves with reading. Make that in your 12-page comic. Make that mistake there. The
Mhm.
small work builds the muscles to do the big work. And when you're trying to sell a book, editors and agents are going to look at your website and they're going to expect there to be shorter projects. Because when you sell a book, you're not selling a 300-page finished thing, you're selling the idea. And they want to know that you can succinctly tell a story in 4 pages, 6 pages, 8 pages, because essentially that's going to be the length of your scenes in your books. And so knowing how to really execute 4 to 6 to 8 pages at a time, 40 of those is what makes a book.
If what Ira and Cheyenne are saying resonates with you, then you might want to consider Kids Comics Unite's graphic novel Bootcamp. What they are describing is exactly what they're going to be working on with you in the course, alongside a group of peers who are as serious about developing and improving their stories as you are. And along the way, you're going to be learning not just techniques, but also how to think, draw, respond to feedback, revise, pace yourself, and finish your work.